Hi everybody, it's Dennis, the active trend trader. Are you one of the traders who has a difficult time finding great growth stocks to trade every weekend? Well, we've got the answer. Welcome to How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options. We're going to cover three things. Our panel of expert traders has picked out three top shelf growth stocks that are setting up and ready potentially to trade next week. Number two, an analysis of the indexes showing which ones are strongest, which ones are weakest, and what the potential is for a move next week. And then we'll also cover another trading problem or issue that you may be having, and we'll provide an answer to that will help you, one, maximize your profits and minimize your losses. So let's get into today's session right now. Hey everybody, this is Dennis Wilburn, the active trend trader, saying aloha. Welcome to this Friday's session of How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options, plus trading tips. Now, this is the re-recorded section because somebody forgot to push the record button when they got started today. And so Steve and Anil are not with us, and we're not live right this moment, but we will basically add on the section with Steve and Anil as they discuss the stocks they're picking this week. And we'll just go ahead and jump into today's session. One of the things I'm really pleased about, and so I'm just saying aloha, and just to let you know, we are ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and talk about what we want to be talking about. One is I have to ask you a question. Are you making the adjustments in your trading so that you can profit from the current market conditions? It is a challenge right now in the market to try to remain profitable. And so one of the things that I asked Steve and Anil, and hopefully it came through on the rest of the recording, is how do you basically adjust your trading so that you can remain profitable when the personality of the market changes? Certainly definitely different than it was last year. And then next, is I want to let you know that, here at Active Trend Trading, I am focused on basically one thing, helping you trade your way to wealth. And one of the things I've been working on with my son, Brandon, is to answer the question, what does it take to get a person to the place where they have developed a nest egg of about $1 million so that they don't have to trade all the time? I've kind of come full circle on what I think and what I believe about trading. And while trading, I love to trade. I'm basically I've been a market pro for a long time. But at the same time, there's a point in life where, trading for a living takes on the essence of becoming too much like a job. And so one of the things we're working on is to kind of come up with the mechanical approach to build a nest egg and then how to live off that nest egg. One of the things that we never talk about per se is we never really, join the concept of wealth building to trading. And at Active Trend Trading, I'm going to be doing that between now and the end of the year. So, at Active Trend Trading, I want you to not just survive. We want you to thrive in any market conditions. One, if you want to maximize your profits and minimize your losses, Active Trend Trading system was developed just for traders like you. It's a tested, proven, and clear and simple system designed to, one, show you what to buy. We have a very specific thing that we buy. So we're not out there chasing, the thousands and thousands of stocks or ETFs that are available. We have a very refined stable of thoroughbred stocks and ETFs that we look to trade every week. When and where to enter, when and where to exit, what to expect. Our yearly goal is 40% ROI with a 65% plus win-loss ratio. How close do we come to that? Over the last 10 years, we've been sitting at just above 36% and about a 70% win-loss ratio. So that's I'm really pleased and proud of that. Basically, it shows that our testing within the system was carried out in the actual execution of the system. So also, we save you time because one, we show you every week because we show you a market review, index review, stocks that we're choosing by our elite traders. And I have to tell you, Anil, Steve are top-notch stock traders and basically pickers of stock. So just want to let you know that. They spend a lot of time during the week researching, searching for the stocks that are likely to move the following week, and they share it with you every Friday. And don't forget my picks, which also basically, you know what, are doing really well for the year. So if we have time, we'll do a little bit of a stock checkup and setups. And so let's go ahead and just take a look at what we've got going so far this year. Always remember the trading, that all materials that we do present are for training purposes. Traders should always pay per trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Here is where we basically, here's our P&L for the year. This is the challenge of this year. It was very interesting. Somebody mentioned that Mark Minervini, and I follow Mark a lot. I love his books. I like his philosophy. You know, he's basically an IBD kind of investor, but he also has some of his own tweaks that he's done to it to match his trading style. And in the current stock trading competitions going on, Mark is leading the pack with a little bit over 230% for the year to date process. Closest guy to him is what I'm told, I haven't double checked this, is back at like 15 or 20%. So, and Mark has been talking about this. Breakouts haven't been working this year, in the follow-on trades. And so part of the thing that Mark is doing is basically just, grabbing as much as he can, getting out with a lot of little gains, 10, 15, 7%, and letting that compound factor. And that's one of the things I just really love about the way he, what he does and how he does it. Active trend trading is very similar. Here's where we were last week. We were up about 13.95%. It looked like a clear sailing into the rest of the end of the year. And guess what? The summer doldrums of August and September, this landed with a big splat. And what happened? We have a drawdown of about 3% this week. At the same time, though, up 10.5. We are, we have caught up with the Russell. I anticipate by the end of the year, active trend trading will be sitting close to 40% for the year, and the indexes themselves could be quite interesting. With all the stuff that's going on in the world, with the debacle that took place this past week in Afghanistan, seemingly numerous ways that just the economy of the United States could go just totally downhill very, very rapidly, which could take the market downhill very rapidly also. It has room to fall. Now, when I say that, what does that mean exactly? Well, typically S&P and the NASDAQ, they run up about 8 to 10% per year. So there's room to fall there. What happened? And we had quite a good rally. With the added mandates due to the virus, will that, because of businesses not wanting to implement those mandates, will that put the brakes on the economy? Yeah, totally different picture. I mean, in 2020, it was so easy to make money in the market. It was basically like, it was almost like throw up a stock, you buy it, and bingo bango, A few weeks later, you were sitting there looking at a 15 or 20% gain. Ain't that way in 2021. 2021, every trader has had to work hard for their money. Well, that could be a song, no? Anyway, hey, let's take a look at what the indexes are in fact doing. Let me go and find that. There we go. So what about the S&P? Just right off the bat, my chart. What happened with the S&P? Well, one of the benefits of getting a watch list and having it re-recorded is you get to see it actually after the market is closed. What are we looking at? We've got a TSI turning up from the zero line. That's a momentum shift. We have the short-term market forecast is the red and the blue line turning up from the lower level, but just about back up to the top. Longer-term momentum line, the green line, is still pointed down, but it's getting into a zone where it could reverse. Prices are pushing higher. One of the things to keep your eye on is what's going to happen when it gets up to this level here. Draw that better. If we get back up to the past highs, watch out for reversal signals, watch out for stalling patterns and that type of stuff. We are just getting the reversal, so where would I want to trade the S&P if I wanted to trade the S&P? In between the 8 and the 20, right in that little hole right there. What does that mean? I'm looking for a pullback into that level, which is the middle third of that today's big green candle. Could it drop further than that? Yes, normally, but take a look at what it's done in the past. Here's a similar type signal there. Here's another similar type signal here. What happened? You had your reversal day, then you had your big long explosion day, and then you had a small pullback into the body of that candlestick, and then it reversed higher. How do you want to trade that? There's a couple of different ways. One is you could trade it on a pullback back into the middle and just be hardcore about, I'm going to do the middle. You could also have a secondary order in if price actions went above the high of the day, and with a stop loss where? Right below the low of the big green candle. Perfect, that's one of the things that we've learned from Dr. Steve. He does a really great job of, if a price action has reversed like this one has, and it reverses back the other side, he won't sit on a 5% loss. He basically will say, hey, if I take out the low of this big green candle day by a nickel or a dime, get me the heck out of Dodge. And it's a great call on his part. Okay, so that takes care of the spiders. I personally like the Qs. The reason why is I think the tech stock's a little bit more beat up, but also I think it's set up to break out better. We actually got into a TQQ trade earlier this week. It unfortunately stopped out on Wednesday and Thursday, but now we've got a reversal signal. I would trade it the same way, pull back into the midsection of Friday's candlestick, or even down to the 8-day moving average, 365. I would look to trade an option on that and go out about 3 to 6 weeks on that option. And I want to remind you, I will be posting an excellent video this weekend to the YouTube channel Market Tech Talk that's going to be talking about how to trade options, or how to simulate trading options with the Thinkorswim on demand feature. You're not going to want to miss that. Let other traders know about that. That's one of the things that every great trader, basically practice or simulates their trades. In the olden days, you had to do it specifically with paper trading, or you'd have to go back when charting. software became popular, you could go back and practice by rolling the dates back and all that kind of stuff. With the on-demand feature of the Thinkorswim money, real money platform, you can actually dial up a date and then go forward from there. And so you can practice your triggers, you can practice your entries and exits. There is already, and again, at the end of this video, I will have the link to part 1, which was actually trading stocks on that. So good stuff. Next, IWM. Again, IWM, if we take a look at just the last, let's see, here is back in April, and now we're going through so from April, which was the last 4 months. If I just look at this body of work, what it's telling me is I'm at a lower support level where I could anticipate a move back up to the upside. How far of a move back up to the side? We could go all the way back up to 232. I've drawn in this little box here. This is the Fibonacci retracement, magic fib box, as I call it. And what it does is it measures, this particular one is measuring from this high to this low. And oftentimes it's approaching, right now, this magic fib box will function as a level of resistance. Now, depending on how easily we slip through that or don't slip through it and do a reversal signal to the downside out of there will depend on how far up this wall, okay, how far up from here up to here we will actually go. So kind of interesting to take a look at. And again, we're approaching, we've come really close to it today, the magic fib box. And if you ever see any of my charts, or if you see a chart that has a little purple rectangle on it, you can now say, aha, Dennis has been here. He left his mark. That's a magic fib box. So what else are we looking at? Longer term. One of the things you know that I've talked about in the past, and longer term, what we're looking at is, let me get this in there. Oh, about there. Okay. Multiple hits on this level of support right here. That is down at the 209 level. We have a nice reversal signal. This is a morning star candlestick reversal, bullish candlestick reversal candle. And so anytime I'll pull back into today's big green candle could trigger a trade or a breakout above this level here. Again, utilizing the same concept and same principle. If I take a trade on a breakout of this candlestick here, I want to keep my stop loss just slightly below that low there of today, the low of today. Let me be clear on that. What else do we have going on here? TSI daily has reversed, has not crossed over yet. So that's not quite as strong of a bullish signal, and that's okay. We had a 2-line cluster on the market forecast. And I'm going to be doing another video coming up in the very near future that's going to talk about how to utilize if you'd like me to do this, how to utilize TSI and market forecast together to better time your trades. As you can see, 2-line cluster. And what's the rule about the 2-line cluster? Those who've been following us for a while, the 2-line cluster is basically the 2 or 3-line cluster. That's below the 80 line. In this case, that's a bullish reversal zone. Is that within 1 to 4 trading periods, there typically is a reversal. Now, can it reverse from a lower level? Yes. Yes. So just because you get the 2 or 3 line cluster, while it is a standby, get ready for reversal, it is not a buy me here type of signal. It has to be confirmed and or confluence of and convergence of clues with a bullish candlestick. Am I at support? What's my TSI doing? So a lot of different things. The other thing, what do we have on the weekly? The weekly longer term momentum still pointing down. Okay. TSI longer still pointing down also. So we're not 100% out of the woods. However, we do have an area where we want to be paying attention, and that's is basically towards the low of, or the middle section of Friday's candlestick on IWM. And so, as I said a little bit earlier, this market could just fall apart and turn just real ugly before the end of the year. And I think part of that is that could be driving that is just that the uncertainty in what this current administration is doing. They just don't seem like they have their act together in a big way. And you may disagree with me on that. That's fine. But at the same thing, it's very clear that it is not pro-American. Okay, and so at some point, American industry, American business, primarily the small guys, will be hurt by this, and it may drive. And so now at this point, if we were live, Steve would be telling me how, giving Steve a hard time because he's kind of like the perma bull. He's always bullish, and he says, "Oh no, I'm bullish long term. I'm really getting powerful," and all kinds of. Matter of fact, he said that today. So that's a good segue to go into. Let's see what stocks they chose, and go ahead and get this video all crimped together and edited together. So aloha, thanks for joining us. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the How to Make Money Trading Stocks or the Market Tech Talk video, YouTube video channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell. Aloha, God bless.
And my simple trend signals are pretty simple on the triple screen basis. So that's
Roger that. And so back to the question that you thought I forgot the question, but what adjustments have you made? And keep your answers really tight for me. What adjustments have you made to profit from the current market conditions?
I've not really changed very much. I'm just trying to be much more vigilant about my rules and apply them, stay with them. For me, my basic exit is the ADMA close.
Okay.
Something closes under the ADMA, I have to be out.
Okay, that's excellent. And I know you're very strict about that. A close below the ADMA.
Yeah.
And Mark has small entries and tight stop, very tight stops.
Yeah.
So, Anil?
I think in the current market, I'm sensitive about taking profit quickly.
Okay.
And that is the adjustment I've made. I'm following the triple screen signal. If my MACD goes bad, even though the 8 and 20 has not crossed, I might take out substantially or all of it, and with the way things are moving.
Okay. No, that's excellent. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm building on. one of the things where I have made a mistake, and I've kind of taken away from Eric Gallum's methods that I picked up from him in the interview that we did to him that is posted on the YouTube channel, is one of the things that I'm learning how to do is basically how to pyramid into a position, and also utilizing some of Mark Minervini's methods. Is you enter your position with a quarter size position, you add to it at 2.5%, a half position. And then when you're up 4.5%, you add the other quarter position. And then you adjust the stop losses and the profit targets in order to take your profits on the way up, but that you want to grow yourself into a full position, and that's one of the mechanisms to do that. If the stock is not strong enough to push up through 2.5% and then 4.5%, you never open the position, and you're in a very small position to protect yourself to the downside. And I'm usually looking at a 3.5 to 4% stop loss on that first position. So that's one of the things I'm working on, guys. So Anil has NVDA.
That is correct.
This is a good looking chart, man. So tell us how you're gonna trade it.
NVD again. This actually showed up on my triple screen systems 2 weeks ago. But
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but since the earnings were coming, I took very small position. Now with the earnings out of the way, and it's showing a good movement, so I'm buying more.
Okay.
So you held it through earnings. You held a small position through earnings.
Correct.
Okay.
Because my triple screen was still intact, and even though it went down a little bit, I held on.
Okay. Okay.
So you entered this around the 10th or the 9th?
I can tell you, let's see, the signal was on the 9th, around the 10th.
Okay, so you entered right there. Cool. So how much, here's something I always ask yourself, guys, is and I know Anil probably took this into consideration, is how much was he willing to risk to the downside? And the way, if he got in here, and I'm assuming towards the end of the day, how much exposure did he have? And right there, okay, had just a little bit over 6%. So that's, and then it basically stopped. What was your stop loss on when you first got in?
Usually my stop loss are between 7 to 8%.
Okay, that works. So, and now you're getting the nice bounce up. Momentum is shifting. This could turn into, and what I look at, Anil, also is over here on the weekly chart. As you can see, TSI momentum is starting to turn up. So you could be in a night, if this breaks out, you could be looking at, 178, that's $30. If it breaks out here, you're looking at another $30. They're up here to about 237. So good move.
That would be nice. Let's see what happens.
So Steve has a great pick today, one that I was a little bit premature in last week, but tell us about it, Steve.
Well, this is BX, Blackstone Group. It's in a very nice long-term trend. Look at the weekly chart on your left.
Yep.
It's in a long trend. We've had a fairly shallow but prolonged pullback, and yesterday was what I consider the beginning of a reversal signal.
Okay.
It was a doji-like candle, but not on a particularly high volume. But with today's gap move, the gap opened, and going back through the 20 period moving average, as it passed through the 20, I put a position on.
Okay, cool. So you're already in the position.
I'm in the position. Stop under yesterday's low.
Okay.
If it closes pretty much like it is today, the stop will be under today's low.
Okay.
Moved at the end of the day.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's one thing I want everybody to pay attention to. Did you hear what Steve said? He's putting, and how much below today's low would you actually put your stop?
5 cents. 5 cents.
You're just doing a nickel. I mean, and that keeps it. That may seem like that's really too tight, but in reality, is understanding what the personality of a stock when it starts to move like this is. is something that, again, I'm going to be teaching going through the end of the year. Because part of the thing is a healthy pullback from today's high would be the midsection of today's candlestick. If it gets below that, it's telling you something's not right.
That's correct.
Does that work? Okay, you guys ready?
Absolutely spot on.
You guys ready for my pick?
Absolutely. SQ. I was thinking about that.
SQ. And basically the same argument that Steve just had.
Yeah.
I like it how it is basically the daily momentums have shifted.
Right.
Now, yes, it is running up into a level of resistance where we need to break out from that.
Right.
So, but I'm kind of good with this. Give us let me see if I drop. So even if I drop below the 50-day moving average right there by 10 cents or so, I'm still above 5%. I'm less than 5% on my stop loss.
Right.
Now, of course, what I'm going to be doing is I wouldn't want it to drop below by too much below yesterday's low. But what happens with these stocks occasionally is you get these levels of support and they kind of pile up on you. And this is one that I would say was piling up on us that we have one really, really close. And so you have to make a decision because the traders that are out there are looking at, okay, here's support, and the institutions are saying, which one of those levels of support are we going to defend?
Yeah.
So,
Can I add
but I like that. What's that?
Can I add something?
Sure, go ahead.
I love the logic. It's very similar to the trade I did. But I would argue for a tight stop. And after today, I would use today's low as a stop.
Okay.
Because my strategy is I'll get out. If it doesn't work like I'm planning on it to work, I get out. But I'm ready to get right back in when the setup reoccurs.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, and I agree with that wholeheartedly, Steve. The way I try to design my trades are for people who are unable to watch the market all the time.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I understand.
And so you have to give it some breathing room.
Absolutely.
And if I'm less than 5%, I'm figuring that's good breathing room. And and here's a bonus for you. You ready? Everybody ready to write this down? Everybody's been asking me about this stock. Now its fundamentals are however, it's technically showing, okay, I may be ready to bounce here. Matter of fact, we do have a, close to a bullish engulfing yesterday, break up today. And as long as we're holding those 820s and stay above the low here, but this is where, again, this is where we have to watch very carefully because that low, if I'm not mistaken, let me see how far it is away. See, it's greater than 6% or greater than 5%. So how do you manage that? Is basically I take a position and find out, okay, if I were to get out of this position, okay, get in the position right here, get out of it at 5%, I find out what that loss is. Yeah, coin is a crypto type of stock, Mark. What I do is I will, once I've defined that level of potential loss, what I do is I then adjust my sizing to make sure I never lose more than what I just estimated there. So that's where you adjust the sizing because that's the only thing you got to adjust. You can adjust your stop loss, but if your normal sizing would make it where you would lose more than 5%, what's the only other thing you can change? My sizing.
Right.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, so that was a bonus stock for it. Great stocks, guys. And
now we just need for them to work.
What's that?
All. We just need for them to work now.
Yeah, that's all. So let's go ahead and run through the rest of it. But now, one of the things I do, you know, for the people who subscribe to the active trend trading, even the free service, I put out a watch list every week. And so, yeah, Barry, Neil had NVDA. But I put out a watch list every week that has somewhere between 15 and 20 stocks. That is the result of me culling through, culling through the 14 premium Investor Business Daily Stock watch list. And so I do that every weekend, and I post that as a free service to people who want to join. You can find that over at, just join as a free member and you will get notified by email when I post that. I post that typically on either Friday evening or Saturday morning. And you can find that at if I could spell. There you go. And so that's one place. And it's a great list because I use that list then to develop my top 5 list, growth list for my Autopilot trading system. This is where I give you all my triggers. If you're interested in that, here's an example of what we did a few months ago, but it shows you exactly what I'm trading, where I'm going to trade it at, what my expectations are, and how I will trade it. I offer this in 2 flavors. One is the stocks, the top 5 stocks, and the leverage ETFs. Your best deal is to get this in the combo mechanism. You can find it at activetrendtrading.com/autopilot. Of course, premium members, you get not just that, but a whole bunch of other great stuff also, triggers, timing. So 2021, we're still consistent on. You know, isn't it interesting, gentlemen, how 2021 is while it's been a profitable year, it's such a different year than 2020 was, trading-wise.
Yeah, every year seems to be different.
Yeah, because 2020, it was like you could just throw something at the wall, and if you got filled, you were in for a profit.
Right.
And so
I heard something amazing yesterday, I think. Mark Minervin, he says his performance this year so far is 221%.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is leading the world stock competition. He is currently, or at least he was a couple of days ago, in first place.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, great stuff. So, okay, so let's just go ahead and close this down. Keep throwing your egg. Very important. Here's how you can get in touch with me. And then premium members will be right back on the final hour at the top of the hour. So again, aloha, trade well and prosper. Start building now. It's never too late to start focusing on trading for wealth. And mahalo, God bless everybody. Thank you to Steve and Anil. I love your stock picks today. And as Steve said, now we just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So aloha, everybody. God bless.
Thank you.
Take care, Dennis. Bye-bye.